What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel for another review. Today we are taking a look at The Life of Chuck, directed by Mike Flanagan. This is a new drama based on a novel by Stephen King that I have not read. I always feel the need to report that I haven't read these books when they are adapted to a film, because some people go to these reviews looking for a comparison to find out how faithfully the movie follows its source material, and I can't give you that. What I can say is that Mike Flanagan is no stranger to Stephen King adaptations. He did that with Dr. Sleep, as well as Gerald's Game, two films that I think are totally decent, but I have to be completely honest and say that, generally speaking, I've always found Mike Flanagan to be a little bit overrated. Now, I haven't seen any of his Netflix miniseries, which many people claim to be among his best work, but when it comes to his earlier films, such as Oculus and a few of the others, which are mostly straight-up horror films, I've always found him to be a director who is just decent at delivering the scares. Never thought he was exceptional, but I'm not hating on the guy either. And The Life of Chuck exists in an interesting space in that it's very earnest, a very human story, but also very ambitious in trying to cover the entirety of a man's life and his existential realizations, which are inspired by a great deal of other characters in his life, as well as historical figures such as Walt Whitman. At the start of the film, we are actually following characters played by Chiwetel Ejiofor. I always get his name wrong. I hope I'm close this time. And Karen Gillan. And these two are navigating what appears to be the end of the world. The environment is in complete turmoil. There's earthquakes. The internet has been wiped out from existence. It seems like the Earth's days are numbered. And they keep seeing these billboards around town with the name Chuck Krantz posted on them, saying thanks for a great 39 years or something along those lines. And this is not really a spoiler because we are notified within the first few minutes that we are in Act 3 at the beginning, but this movie is following the life of Chuck, but in reverse order. So at the start of the film, he has already passed away, and we instead go back in time and learn more about him as the movie goes along. Once again, I think this is very ambitious, and it's always going to feel that way when you're adapting a Stephen King novel, or any novel for that matter, because you're taking something that is oftentimes containing a lot more information than you can squeeze into a 2-hour film. Overall, I thought The Life of Chuck was a cute movie. That's how I would describe it. It's sometimes very wholesome, and other times I think it overindulges in a pulpy kind of sentimentality that doesn't always feel earned. And that might just be one of the roadblocks you encounter when you try to tell a story in reverse. Because quite frankly, even though we do see Chuck played in his adult form by Tom Hiddleston around the midway point of the film, you still don't learn much about him until you go even further back into his childhood and learning what shaped his values, what he decided to do with his life, and how he came to that conclusion. What I liked most about this is when it actually made me think about things in my life that are influenced by the story. Flanagan comes really close to saying something interesting here about how we make connections every day with every human that we will meet in our lifetime, every environment that we ever see. There's an entire world inside of all of us that lives on until the day we die. And among the very messy narrative, there are several great moments of what I would call movie magic. You know, the type of stuff that Nicole Kidman is talking about in her stupid AMC ad. Two that instantly come to my mind after watching it are the two dance sequences. Sometimes we all just need a great dance sequence. There's a lot you can do with it here, and the choreography is excellent. And the first one almost made me think, okay, are we just killing some time here or what? But as you go along, you find out that the dancing itself has relevance in Chuck's story. There are a bunch of side characters, and some of them fit more than others. Chuck's grandpa, played by Mark Hamill, not so sure that character and his relevance to the story fully clicked for me. It just didn't feel necessary. I understand what they were trying to do, but for the most part, I would say this is the type of film that gets a little better as it goes along. The first half hour or so, I was kind of just sitting there wondering, all right, like, where are we going with this? I would be lying if I said that I wasn't a little bored. And I can definitely see the structure being alienating to those who haven't read the novel. In fact, the people that I think will enjoy this the most are those who have read the novel and already have these emotions and that payoff inside of themselves and are simply seeing it replicated on the big screen. In the end, The Life of Chuck is never quite as profound as I think it wants to be, but it's cute enough, and I think it's a worthwhile watch on a streaming service or if you happen to catch it at a matinee. I'm going to give this one 3 stars. So those are my thoughts on the film. I'm going to keep this video short and sweet because I have a lot of work ahead of me this week. The Life of Chuck technically made its debut at Toronto International Film Festival last year, where it was a huge hit with audiences there, and it gets a wide release this Friday. So if you do manage to check it out, be sure to let me know what you think of it down in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe if you want more content like this. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.